at Rally HQ and representatives of the Mayo and District Motorsport Club and indeed some of the main people involved in this rally event.
Now I'm here beside Matthew Murphy, who is the chairman of the Mayo and District Motorsport Club. Matthew, I suppose first of all, we're here at the launch of the 2014 Mayo Stages Rally, of course, which is taking place in the weekend of the 8th and 9th of March. First of all, I suppose it's great to be back in Ballina once again after a very successful year last year.
Absolutely, Michael. We were here last year and we were very, very well supported by the local businesses, and we were very well accepted by the local residents, which are hugely important to the running of any rally. You know, we take over their roads for a Sunday, and it's critical that they're very happy with us. You know.
Yeah, I suppose, as mentioned, back in Ballina again, it's great to see the Chamber getting on board this year as well, with you, in terms of having kind of a type of a rally festival on that Saturday from 1 to 9. It's a great day for all the family. So it's not just really about the motorsport, but it's about the family fun as well, and that getting the kids involved. It must mean a lot.
Yeah, that's right. The Ballina Chamber of Commerce have come on board stronger this year, and it's brilliant because it's going to make a weekend out of it. And again, going back to the support, we need the support of the town, and the town is coming up trumps. They're really behind us this year. We're first round of the Dunlop National Rally Championships, so we're going to have a lot more high-profile drivers, officials, supporters coming to the town, and you know, it's going to be a festival weekend of motorsport.
Yeah, you mentioned there, of course, the round one of the Dunlop National Rally Championships. That's, of course, every second year. You last had it in Claremorris back in 2012. So it's good to have that here once again. As you mentioned, it will bring more high-profile drivers, but of course, it'll make the whole championships more interesting and more competitive.
That's right, yeah. We're in a format at the moment that we have the Dunlop National Championship every second year, and the year that we do have it, we're the first round. So that's a big plus. Yeah, it brings high-profile drivers and high-profile machinery to the event, and where that's great, but it's great for the likes of myself, where I would be a clubman running at a low-cost end of the motorsport, and it gives me an opportunity to be able to compete alongside these high-profile drivers. So it's not all about having the high-profile driver and machinery, but you know, the big and small can play in the one pond.
Yeah, and that's great, and I suppose for yourself as well, even though you are chairman, you're also competing as well. So in terms of your own chances for the events, are you, I suppose, and would you be hoping to kind of be, you know, thereabouts, or how have you fared in these particular stages last year and years gone by?
Well, I suppose, Michael, the way it works is, the likes of myself, where I'd be on a relatively low budget, I'd be there for the enjoyment of the sport. You wouldn't be battling for overall places. You just don't have the machinery and possibly the skill to battle for overall places. But it gives you a great chance to play with these boys, you know. It makes you feel that bit bigger for the day, and you know.
Yeah. Yeah, as you mentioned, like, it is good that, you know, the top class and you know, the people at a smaller level as well who you know, operate on a low budget can all come together for the one event, and really, I suppose, test yourselves out against them. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and also not alone have we the Dunlop National Rally Championship, but we also have the Sligo Pallets Border Championship, and we're also the first round of that. And again, that's for the likes of myself, or that type of a competitor that you know, you can be thereabouts with a chance. I suppose it'd be class wins we'd be aiming for. You know, in my own case, if I finish, if I get mileage on the day, I'm happy. You know, I've got my money's worth and I've got my fun out of it. But by all means, there's members in the club there that will be pushing for class wins, no doubt.
And finally, your own role as chairman, I suppose, really, you know, overlooking the whole, you know, Mayo and District Motorsport Club and that sort of thing. I suppose, finances are a huge part to any organisation. I suppose you're blessed this year again to welcome on board Hotel Ballina and Kinnedy Motors of Motors and Ballina as main sponsors.
Most definitely. If you hadn't Hotel Ballina and Kinnedy Motors, Ballina and Ballinmullet, this event would not go ahead if you hadn't people like those, our businesses like those, and we're indebted to their sponsorship. We're in tough times. By no means has anyone money for throwing away, but I just hope that Hotel Ballina and Kinnedy Motors, that they'll get their rewards out of the event. It's a form of advertisement, and the best of luck to them. I hope they get their rewards 5 times over.
Great stuff. Well, Matthew Murphy, Chairman of the Mayo and District Motorsport Club, thanks so much for talking to me, and best of luck when you're competing yourself as well that weekend of the 8th and 9th of March at the Mayo Stages Rally.
Thanks very much, Michael. Thank you.
Now I'm delighted to be joined here by Pádraig Roach, who is the clerk of the course here for the Mayo Stages Rally on the weekend of the 8th and 9th of March. Pádraig, I suppose, first of all, it's your 3rd year in charge as being clerk of the course. It must be a role that you must enjoy doing at this stage.
I think no one else likes doing it, so it's left to me for every year. So it's grand. I have a good team behind me now, and same team as last year and the year before, more or less, and they're a great team, and it's easy to get things done with them.
Yeah, and of course an added draw to it this year as well is you also have the round 1 of the Dunlop National Rally Championships back again every second year, of course, and you had it last one year in Claremorris in 2012, so it's good to have that back again, as I suppose really raise the bar in terms of competitors. You have lots of national competitors coming as well. Yeah,
it boosts up the entry stages every year, and you have more WRC cars and Group N cars coming in for the National Championship, where you still have your Mark II escorts and rear-wheel drive cars for a bit of show. So you have this year we're around one of the Border Championship as well, the Sligo Palace Border Championship, and we're part of that every year, and they pull a lot of clubmen, like the likes of Mark II escorts and all that.
Yeah.
So the Dunlop National now it'll boost up the entry a good bit. So we should be starting 100 plus cars for the event.
And of course, last year it was held in Ballina as well, so it's returning to Ballina. So it must have been a really successful year last year. The fact that you're bringing it back to the North Mayo capsule again.
It was a great success last year. The town now, in fairness, them, they backed us big time. We have sponsorship from every shop and everything in the town, and of course the hotel here is a great hotel, Hotel Ballina, and it's great to have them on board again, and Kinnedy Motors as well. So
of course, like for an event like this, indeed, I suppose really it's one of the most successful sporting events in the county. So it's great to have sponsors like Kinnedy Motors, like Hotel Ballina coming on board, because really at the end of the day, if you didn't have those sponsors, events like this it'd be hard for them to survive.
It'd be very hard for them to survive, because it costs a lot of money to run a weekend rally here. So you need your sponsors, and if you didn't have your sponsors, you couldn't run a rally. Yeah. Simple as that.
Tell us about the course itself, in terms of how testing it is and how you'd compare it with other courses around the country, indeed other events.
Well, the course is roughly about 116 stage kilometres long, and it's comprised of 3 stages, ran 3 times, so you have 9 stages for the day. Nice, tight, twisty stuff. No major high-speed stuff. So it'll be hard on all the competitors.
Yeah, and does that suit certain type of drivers, or like in terms, say, of the national competitors, the more high profile guys? Like, what do they generally make of coming to Mayo and these different courses similar to this?
Well, every rally is a different challenge, different stages, different types of tarmac, different types of roads, different weather. Then as we run in March, it's different to the same stages run in July. It'd be very different. There'd be drier roads and all that. But it's a test for them all, from number 1 to number 130, so.
So as we said, it's your 3rd year as clerk of the course. What's the most challenging aspects of being clerk of the course? I suppose really your work, it begins months in advance, but on the weekend itself, it must be a real hectic job to have.
Well, it's not that hectic at all. We have a good team there now, and once you have a good team, it more or less runs itself. Everyone knows what they have to do, and it's 3rd year doing it now, so it seems to be fairly easy now as this goes on. And something can go wrong in the weekend, but normally
of course, as always, just like last year as well, you have the great support of the RSA as well behind you. And I suppose really, while it is a popular event, safety in terms of motorsport, it's always the crucial point, and that's something that I'm sure you always try to maintain.
Yeah, well, we run a rally in a controlled environment where we have everything done. The county council give us the roads for the day. We set up every location, every turn, every bend has a safety plan for it. We've marshals at every location. We have everything is locked off. There's nothing left to chance at all. But I'd say the safety side of it takes a lot of work, an awful lot of work. Like a safety plan takes 2 or 3 months to do, and then it goes to Motorsport and they pass it, and once they're happy with it, they might change a few things, tell us to change a few things. We get a tour from Motorsport and safety officer as well, and he checks it out, and if he's happy with it, or she, to let us off with it, like. Yeah. But no, safety is the main priority. Safety is the main priority for the whole event.
And of course, I suppose with that in mind, it's great too that this year you make it a real family fun day, because Ballina Chamber are getting involved as well this year, and on the Saturday you're going to have a big day from 1 until 9, where there'll be kind of I suppose a mini festival, as it were, on that day.
Yeah, we're having what we're calling a rally show on the Saturday, and the rally show now, it's Ballina Chamber of Commerce, and Paul Garvin is doing great work there. He's the one that's leading it all, and what we're doing, the fire brigade will be doing demonstrations there. The Autumn also doing demonstrations. Matty Griffin is coming doing stunt bike show, and we'll have some auto testing on, which is driving cars around cones and stuff. And we'll have a big screen there with a bit of coverage on the big screen about different rallies and that. And at the end of the night, then we'll be bringing some of the cars down from Park Runway down to just show them off and do a few interviews below in the town, and back up to the hotel again.
Great stuff, I suppose. Really, so the only thing to say to finish off with, Park, would be anyone that has a free weekend on the 8th and 9th of March to get yourselves around Ballina, because it's not just, even if you're not into the motorsport side of things, there's lots to see and do, and you'd be surprised, I suppose, at the amount of enjoyment you'd get from it. Oh yes, everybody comes. There's something for everybody, children and old people. They all enjoy it. So great. Hope they all come for the weekend. Park Roach, the clerk of the course for the Mayo Stages Rally on the 8th and 9th of March. Thanks for talking to me.
Thank you.
Now I'm delighted to be joined here by one of the co-sponsors of the Mayo Stages Rally event, of course, Kennedy Motors, and joined by Kieran Kennedy. Kieran, I suppose, first of all, you're a big rally enthusiast yourself. It's taking place on the weekend of the 8th and 9th of March, as we said. For yourself, I suppose, as someone who I suppose sells cars to the local community in Balmullet and both in Ballina as well, it must be great to be seen supporting an event as popular as the Mayo Stages Rally.
Yeah, it is alright. It's nice to help the locals bring things back into the area that you're selling cars into and things.
Yeah. And like from yourself in terms of your own interests, I know you've been competing over the years yourself, and you have lots of different, I suppose, lots of knowledge and interest in the sport itself. It must be great that it's in Ballina, because as you've said, you have your own business here in the town. I know last year it came for the first time, so it's great that it's remaining in a town like Ballina. It's a great boost to the local economy.
Yeah, it is. It brings a lot into the area for the weekend. A lot of money spent around the place and things like that. And I've been interested in it myself for the last since I was young, really. I've always been following it. I'm doing rallying myself since about 2009 or that.
And how did you first get involved in motorsport, Kieran? What prompted you to get behind the wheel?
I've just always been interested in, I suppose, speed and things like that, and it's a nice place to do it when you're allowed to do it properly.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because I mean, like, lots of young lads are interested in speed and how fast a car can go, but in terms of motorsport, this is their chance to do it. It's in a controlled environment, and it's not out late at night in the early hours of the morning, people doing donuts and what have you. At least it's in a controlled environment. It's legal and it's safe, and as we heard from the clerk of the course, safety is the key.
Yeah, safety is they're different cars totally compared to an ordinary road car. You've roll bars, different seats, harnesses, totally different cars. So safety is a big difference. So it is.
Yeah, I suppose from your own perspective as well. You mentioned how cars is your main name of the game of that. And would you have deal with much of these type of cars yourselves? They are a different machine in general. I suppose certainly you're competing yourself, so you'll have your own machine. Tell us about the cars that you be driving yourself.
I just drive a Honda Civic. It's nothing special. It's like an ordinary road car. It's Group in Class 2, where the only difference is really the tyres and suspension, and you have a roll cage and things like that.
Yeah. And have you had much success yourself in these competitions? What would you say has been your best achievement to date?
I haven't had a lot of success now, but more ups and downs. So it is.
But certainly, I suppose you'll be hoping to book that trend on the 8th and 9th of March, and you wouldn't know, you might achieve something special.
Yeah, we'll go for a bit of crack anyways. It'll be a good day out. So
that's it. Great stuff. Well, Kieran Kennedy of Kennedy Motors, thanks very much for talking to me, and the best of luck.
Thank you.
Now I'm delighted to be joined here by another one of the co-sponsors for the Mayo Stages Ride. That is, of course, Hotel Ballina, and I'm joined by the Executive Director, Roisin Buckley. Roisin, thanks very much for joining me. And I suppose, first of all, we'll talk about how great it is to have the rally back in Ballina for the second year again, because it means a lot to have, an event as big as this back in the North Mayo capital once again.
Absolutely, it's just a great opportunity for Ballina and the area. I suppose we're all delighted as business people to have such a prestigious event coming back to Ballina for the second year in a row, and I suppose it's vitally important with just the times that we're in that we get good boost to the economy, especially in the slower months of the year. So yeah, we're absolutely delighted to have it back. Yeah.
And what does it mean for a business like yourselves? You're here on the Foxford Road, a very successful hotel. But what does it mean for yourselves to be seen to be supporting these type of events, to be giving something back to the people?
Well, I suppose it's hugely important. We rely on the local community to support us in our business, so it's great to be able to give something back to the community. And it really is. It's all about community at this stage and supporting each other.
Yeah, and of course the weekend, as we said, is on the 8th and 9th of March, and this year I know as well the Ballina Chamber, they're getting involved on the Saturday, and they have a big event to make it a real family fun day as well, so that'll be big. But for yourselves here at the hotel, I'm sure you have lots of exciting things planned over the course of the weekend.
We do indeed. We've been working hard in the background for the last few months, getting plans in place for the weekend, and like that we're very conscious of making it a family entertainment event as well. So we have scrutiny here in the hotel car park between 2 and 8 o'clock on Saturday, the 8th of March. So that's a great opportunity for the kids to come out and see the cars without maybe having to go out onto the stages. So bring all the kids out to us. It's a nice safe environment for them. And then we also we're just, I suppose, upping the entertainment that we would have provided on last year. So we have Jason McGilligan and Dee Riley playing with us in the Nathan Suite on Saturday night. That's late night social dancing, so get your dancing shoes on and join us for that. It's sure to be a great night. And we also have some entertainment in McShane's Bar on Sunday night. And then coupled with that, with bar food and carvery running throughout the weekend, so there's no excuse not to pop out and see us. Yeah,
it'd be great. And I suppose really, it's an ideal location as well. When you're taking the route of all around North Mayo, it's ideal for people who are passing, to call in for a bit of grub to keep the I suppose the energy levels up.
That's it, exactly, and hopefully everybody will have been in town as well in Ballina at that stage and will have seen everything that the Chamber of Commerce are working very hard on putting together there. So it's the great spot to come in to save Mammy's having to cook on Saturday or Sunday. Pop into Hotel Ballina for your carvery lunch.
That's it. Well, Roisin Buckley, thanks very much for talking to me, of course, Executive Director here at Hotel Ballina, and best of luck on the weekend of the 8th and 9th of March, and hopefully it all goes well for everyone.
Absolutely. I suppose just the main thing that we would hope is that the organisers have a successful last run into it and that everybody stays safe on the stages and comes home safe and sound.
I'm joined here by Andrew Mullen of Sligo Pallets, of course, main sponsor of the Sligo Pallets Border Championships, and of course round one of that will be taking place on the weekend of the 8th and 9th of March here at the Mayo Stages Rally. I suppose, Andrew, first of all, it must be your third or fourth year sponsoring this event now, so it's great, I suppose, to be seen to be supporting a local event like this.
That's correct, yeah. This is actually our fourth year into a 5-year sponsorship deal that we came in with the Border Championship. So it's our 4th year, so it is. And I'm a great supporter of the Mayo Club for the last 25 years. So I am, since I started rallying and that, I would consider we'll say the Mayo Club to be our home event, and that over the years I've done it, I'd say 18, 19 times myself. So I have had good days, had bad days, whatever, and it's great to be able to support them again here this year.
Tell us how you got involved in the sport yourself, first of all, Andrew. I suppose, maybe people have different memories of how they got involved, but what prompted you, I suppose, to get interested in motorsport?
From a young age, I was always interested in motorsport. Didn't have great interest in football or hurling or anything like that. It was always kind of motorsport and that. And as soon as I could afford to put a car on the road, I had it on the road for, we'll say, to rally and that. Mightn't have had much more, but I still had the rally car, so I had, and it just kind of escalated over the years and that, into different cars. We've had a number of cars. From Group A, Evos, Group N's, a lot of Super 1600 cars. Started off with a Sunbeam and that good car too as well. But I suppose always had the interest in we'll say motorsport and cars and stuff like that. So that's where it came from.
Tell us about, I suppose, your own time from competing. I believe at the moment you're not competing due to a work-related injury, but in terms of years gone by, what successes had you, I suppose, that stands out in your mind?
We won the border 2 years in a row in our class, not overall, in our class. Myself and my wife navigates with me. We had good success in a 1400 Puma there, and I suppose highlights of our rallying would be that we did Rally Ireland when it came round there in 2007. I didn't compete in 2009, and I suppose 2012 would have been our most successful year. We came second overall in Newry and third in Sligo, with a few other, we'll say, top 10 finishes and that with it. But unfortunately this year I'm going to have to take a back step, so I am.
What advice, I suppose, would you give to people out there that don't know a whole lot about motorsport, and sometimes I suppose in the wrong it might get negative press, just simply from people not informing themselves of what the sport is about and that it is a controlled and a safe environment? What kind of advice would you give to people out there?
Well, like any sport, any sport is dangerous. Motorsport would say that a little bit more dangerous because you're involved with high speed cars and whatever else. But to be fair, over the years, like the amount of safety that has come back into rallying is second to none. Compared to, we'll say, 20-25 years ago when I started rallying, and that like the safety equipment you have in the car, the helmets, overalls, all that kind of stuff with it. Even, we'll say, the cars themselves, if they are involved in a major accident, like 9 times out of 10, you'll walk away from it and that, and we'll say there's 2-3 events every weekend on and that, and okay, unfortunately we hear about the bad press when something goes wrong or whatever else, and it's a bit of a downer, but the success in rallying as well, there's a lot of highs in it as well, and that, so.
That's great. Well, Andrew Mullen of Sligo Palace, thanks very much. I'm sure you'll be eagerly anticipating the 8th and 9th of March yourself as an enthusiast, and indeed it'll be a great profile for your own company as well, of Sligo Palace.
Yeah, for sure. It's getting the name out there, what we do, and that, but for sure would be up for the weekend and that, probably given half dozen jobs to do, seeing that I didn't have to do it for years and that, they'll probably get their own back here, so they will make it. It's about time now the tables are turned there as well, so it is, okay?
Great stuff, thanks Andrew. Okay. Now I'm delighted to be joined by the Chief Marshal of the course this year for the Mayo Stages Rally, Stephen McGing. Stephen, I suppose first of all we can explain to listeners at home about your own role, what being a Chief Marshal requires.
Well, basically it involves making sure that we have to about 150 marshals for the weekend across all 3 stages, and also for the service area and for the hotel afterwards for the finish ramp will be, to make sure there's ample marshals for each stage, not a glut in one and not enough in another, and to make sure that any inexperienced guys are teamed up with the more experienced fellas, a fella that can come along for one time a year, one time ever, or 20 times a year. Everyone is more than welcome.
It's a vital job really from that regard in terms of health and safety, because unfortunately over the years sadly there's been some accidents and I suppose fatal incidents down through the years in other events. So really that's something that I suppose you really want to make sure that safety is the key and to deter these things from happening.
Yeah, lucky enough now there isn't too many of those events, but when there is, I suppose they're highlighted. We're very lucky here in this club. We've very, very few. And we try to give all the help we can to the marshals, be it training nights, whatever we can do to make sure that we do limit these unfortunate encounters, really.
Yeah. So tell us about the marshals in terms of, I believe you're actually looking to get volunteers on board for that weekend. So is there people at home listening wondering that they'd like to get involved and support the Mayo Stages Rally on the weekend of the 8th and 9th of March? How can they, I suppose, get involved? And if they're thinking, what do they need to do? Have they to have any qualifications or anything like that?
No, there's no qualifications at all. Basically, if you look up mayomotorsportclub.com, follow us on Facebook or Twitter. There'll be links there and all them, my phone number, beyond them, send a message to us on Facebook or whatever. If you're inexperienced, we'll team you up with very capable people, and we do need everyone's help. It's a great event. We need the people of Ballina to help us, but anyone listening can certainly give us a hand.
Yeah. As mentioned, it is a vital job. Certainly, safety is the key, and it's great, I suppose, that the RSA as well this year, as other years, have always been supportive of the events.
Yeah, the RSA are a great help to us. They've really come on board, and the night before as well at the rally show, I think the rollover car is going to be there in the night, and they'll be showing people what it's like to be in a crash. Something I suppose we don't want to be involved in, but it's a great experience, and people should come down and see that. So yeah. We'd really thank the RSA for all their help.
Yeah, and finally, your own love of the sport. How did you first get involved in motorsport? I suppose what prompted you, to get involved with the Mayo District Motorsport Club as well.
I suppose from years and years ago, when I'd be 4 or 5 years of age, I remember being woken up out of bed to go and watch what was the Circuit of Ireland at the time, travelling miles away to see the cars coming through, mostly through Mayo at night, whatever way it seemed to happen. The circuit used to be at the night time, and it's a bug really, and it's a great bug. It can be expensive at time with fuel and accommodation and stuff travelling around the country, but it's well worth it when you hear the roar of the cars going by, and it's an experience everyone should encounter, and hopefully myself and the rest of the marshals can make that an enjoyable experience for anyone that wants to come and watch. If you don't want to come and help, come and watch and enjoy the day and enjoy the spectacle, and that's all.
It is great for young lads to get involved in a sport like this, especially if they're into their cars and that, because it's a safe environment, and if they want to let steam out, this is the place to do it.
Oh, it is, yeah. If you look into the cars, look at the belts and the cages and seats and everything, the safety of a rally car is phenomenal, and I suppose the people that go around following the rallies maybe give it a bit of a bad name, or the lads in car parks on a Saturday night. We're trying to break away from that. And, maybe this is an occasion for people who are a bit sceptical or call us by racers, come and have a look, help us out, and, maybe we can change your mind about things. And that's it, Well,
that's it. Certainly, thanks very much. You've given a clear outline in terms of the safety that goes in, to the event like this, and it is a huge event. I suppose you'll put a final call out there that anyone at all that would like to get involved. Certainly, they need lots of marshals, between 140 to 150 marshals needed on the day. But certainly, the best place to look will be the website, Stephen, and they get all the information there.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Weekend Sport on Midwest Radio, brought to you by T-Rex Clothing, Retail Park, Brafey Road, Castlebar, suppliers of quality customised sportswear for your club. 094 9025 933 or trexclothing.com.
What's on in your area? It's Community Diary Time with Tahar Tyres, Brafey Road, Castlebar. They're professionals in tyres for cars and trucks. Tahar Tyres, Brafey Road, Castlebar. 094 90 31.
A social dance will take place in the Gateway Hotel Swinford on this coming Sunday from 4 to 7 p.m. Music by Frank. All are welcome. Telephone 087 980 9432. Clare Island 10k walk and run takes place on Saturday, February 22nd. That's at 1 p.m. All proceeds to Native Cancer Care West. The entry fee is €38 €48, which includes return boat trip, race entry, water and refreshments. Register at cancercarewest.ie or call Sharon at 091 545 000. Ballroom dance classes learn to quick-step, foxtrot, slow waltz, old-time waltz, jive, swing and cha-cha with instructor Sean Casey every Tuesday at 7:30 in the Clive Hotel Galway, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. in the Dalton in Claremorris, and starting on Thursday 20th of February.
Here beside the Secretary of the Mayo District Motorsport Club course, John Duffy. John, first of all, your role, just like some of the other people who we spoke to, it's a hugely vital role as well, and I'm sure very busy in preparation ahead of the 8th and 9th of March for the Mayo Stages Rally.
Well, I am the Secretary of the club, but I have to say I haven't an awful lot to do with the running of the Stages Rally. We have a very, very good team of officials to run the event. My plan this year was to probably compete in the event, which I've done for the last number of years. And I think every year we bring new members on board, younger guys that are prepared to work very, very hard to put the stages in place. And this year is no different to any other year. There's Pádraig Roach and his team. They've done an excellent job, put a great rally together, and it's a credit to the lot of them.
You mentioned, of course, yourself how you're hoping to compete this year, and down to the years, of course, you've been very successful, and I suppose motorsport in your own family, is huge. But of course, your son Killian been very successful over the past number of years on the world stage. So that must be very proud, for a sport that you've loved and worked at or been involved with for so many years. See your son go on then and achieve great success. It must be a great feeling.
Yeah, I'm very proud of Killian. He has done extremely well. I suppose from an early age he always had a huge interest in motorsport, even when he was in his very early teens. Huge interest in it. He always went to the events with me, and it's good to see a guy from Mayo climbing the ladder to the top, basically in the World Championship. And as I said, Killian has done very well. Great year last year. So hope it continues for him.
Yeah, you mentioned how he got involved through yourself. How did you first get involved? Was it always in your family, or I suppose we heard how it was in 1976 when the club first formed. When did you first get involved with the Mayo Sports District Club?
I got involved in the late 70s. I wasn't one of the founding members of the club. I moved to this part of the country back in 79, I think it was. And I always personally had always an interest in motorsport myself, and as I said, got involved with the club in the early stages, and always helped out in some way or other. I have been secretary for a good number of years, but as the man said, as far as I'm concerned, being the club secretary in many ways is very much nearly an honorary role, because we have a number of other people that have, that do secretary of events, which is probably far more difficult than being club secretary. Club secretary basically gets the correspondence and distributes it and that sort of thing, and takes the notes of the meeting and things like that. But as I said, it's the people that are event secretaries that really do the work.
Yeah. And what would you, I suppose, make of this particular course? And I suppose certainly from speaking to your son Killian as well, he'd have a lot of friends that have done not just this course, but indeed lots of different stages around the country. How would the Mayo Stages Rally rank with other stages across the country in terms of the difficult terrain? I suppose it'd be similar to Donegal in that regard in terms of the bumpy terrain you'd have.
Well, the stages of Mayo are always reasonably tricky. I suppose the time of the year it's ran in contributes to that as well, in that generally in March the roads can be wet and guttery and one thing or another, and but I mean that's what people go out for. They go out for the challenge. They go out for their day sport. That's their sport, and really whatever the conditions are, they have to adapt to them. And certainly Mayo's stages over the years would have been a great challenge, and I think again that's what people like. They like a bit of a challenge. They don't like something that's too simple. And certainly the stages in Mayo generally give people a great challenge, and they come back year after year from different parts of the country to compete in Mayo.
So what's the latest now with Killian in terms of his own exploits on the world rallying stage?
Well, this year, Killian, he's managing a team of they're Silverstream. They're an Australian-based Irish guys that are competing in this country. They did the Galway International last weekend, and they were doing the Whiting Rally in Wales this weekend. So basically, that's taken up some of his time. He also has some offers on the table for navigating both in the Middle East and in the World Championship. He hasn't a definite programme yet, but that generally happens very, very quickly. And so, I'd say he'll have something on the table pretty soon.
Well, certainly we wish Killian the very best of luck and wish him continued success into the future as well. John Duffy, thank you very much for talking to us, and best of luck on that weekend of the 8th and 9th of March. Let's hope everything runs smoothly for the Mayo Stages Rally.
Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you, and thanks to Midwest Radio.
Now I'm joined here by Michael Noon, who is a former COC of the Mayo Stages Rally, but this year he's the chief timekeeper. I suppose, first of all, Michael, talking about the event in terms of your own experience, I know this year now Park Roach remains the clerk of the course, but you have experience yourself of being COC back in 2003, and you ran the event very successfully. What, I suppose, what's the main role of a COC? As we heard from Pádraig, a lot of work goes in the build-up, and certainly on the day you have a good team around you. But from your own experience of when you were involved, how difficult of a job is it?
It's a quite difficult job. In 2003, I suppose we were heading into the boom times, and one of the problems we didn't have in 2003 was entries. My biggest problem in those years was, what do you do with the reserve list? The people that was looking to get an entry and couldn't. So we're limited to what we can start at the rally, 130 cars. And one of the biggest challenges, I suppose, is to get enough manpower to run the event, because this is a massive team effort. Probably involving up to 200 people just to run the event and to run a safe event. And they're some of the biggest challenges. This year, I'm back as chief timekeeper for this event. Again, it's a job that involves, I need 25, 30 people to do the timekeeping. The results have to be got out in a timely manner, and we don't get a second chance. This is one game that we cannot say we'd rerun next Sunday or the Sunday after the event. You have to get it right, and you only get one chance at it, and that's where I see.
It must be a hugely responsible job to be the chief timekeeper. But as you mentioned all these important roles, and there are important roles, but I suppose underneath you have a team of, you said there are 30 people working alongside you. So really it's a real team effort, and once you have the numbers, it makes that a little bit easier.
Yes, the rallying is like a huge family. We have support, like even before this evening, I got phone calls there from boys in Derry and Donegal, looking to come to help out, and in return, like, we go and help them. So it's a huge family, all over Ireland, from Cork to Donegal. We get help and we give help, and only for that, we couldn't. It wouldn't be possible for us to run the rally.
Yeah, and of course you must have been involved, as we said, like, you've been involved in the club for quite a while now, and have always been an avid follower of the sport. What advice would you give to people that would like to get involved in the sport? Say youngsters out there that would like to get involved, but I suppose first of all wondering about the costs, because it can be a very costly sport depending on how far you want to take it. But what advice would you give to someone, first of all, I suppose, to make that first step in getting involved in motorsport?
Well, I think back in the days when I started back in the late 70s, and at the time, night navigation rally was the way to start off, and that involved going to a headquarters and plotting out your map, and you had to visit maybe 100 time points for the night, maybe throughout the county of Mayo or half the county. And that was a learning. That was a learning for the competing in the stages rally, because the driving and navigating, it's a team effort, and you can spend you can spend what you want on a car. You can spend 500,000 on a car, but if you haven't a good navigator with you, that car isn't much use to you, and you will never win a rally. But for young people starting off, I think get involved in the club first of all. This thing of young boys thinking they're great drivers out on the roads, that's no good. That you need to come to the controlled environment like the rallies, where you have the safety, and all the other support to get you through. But you need to start off small. There's classes now, and there's wee smaller rallies than this, where you can compete in a 1300 car, and it's mainly time trials and that. It's not out and out stage rallying, but that's where you have to start off, and everybody has to start someplace. And even the best drivers in the world, has had massive accidents and that. So what you're trying to do is to limit that and go and get all the right advice first, and take it from there. I've been involved, as I said, for over 30 years, and I've seen massive changes in it. However, here today we see the entries coming in. We see the same cars. I last ran this rally in 2003, and Eugene Donnelly won it, and he was out in Galway there last year, which is 11 years on. He was out in Galway and competing for the top spot. The one other thing is that the make a car that suits the Mayo stages is the Subaru Impreza. It's probably the most competitive car on Irish tarmac, and particularly in Mayo, where the stages are bumpy, like Donegal. The natural terrain is bumpy, and those cars have stayed very well. So that's...
Yeah. And finally, I suppose, for people who live along, the route of these events, in terms of that weekend, obviously, I suppose, there's restrictions in when they can and can't leave, but I'm sure that the club and the organisers, and as yourself being a former COC as well, you'd all work very closely with those kind of people, I suppose, to make their life that bit easier.
Yes, the whole event depends on the residents along the route. And we're blessed in this part of the country that we have their support. They work with us. We do a pre-PR, which 3 months in advance of the rally we go around and tell them what we're thinking about doing, and we're asking their permission. And at that stage, we get a feel for what's good and what's not. And then we apply to for road closing to the council. And we're lucky in this country that has a road closing order, that a lot of countries don't have, even in Great Britain. They cannot close a road in Great Britain to run a rally. It's something that came in here in the 1900s, and we still have it in legislation today, and we're lucky to have that. A lot of countries would love to have it. However, we're still dependent on the residents along the route. We have their support. We work with them. We work with the communities, like from the councillors in the area to the priest, everybody, because we don't want to inconvenience anybody, and we'd like to be in a position to go back and reuse some of the stages we use other years. There is some classic stages here. When I ran it was in the Killala, Ballycastle area. Again, classic stages, and the same in Bunnycon and Ettymass. And we do try and repay some of the committees, like Bunnycon and Show. We would help out at the Marshal in there, and we would, as much as possible, we would help other communities as well and other events that's taking place, so long as they're not clashing with ours.
That's great. Well, Michael Noon, thanks very much for talking to me, and very best of luck on the weekend of the 8th and 9th of March for the Mayo Stage Rally.
Thanks yourself, and thanks for supporting the event.
Now I'm here with one of the founding members of the Mayo and District Motorsport Club, which is Willie Durkin. Of course, the club itself has been in existence since 1976, and Willie, I believe you were involved in the inception of the club itself. So I suppose really it must be a proud moment for yourself, to see the club going from strength to strength down to the years, and to what it is today. It must have come on a lot since the early days.
Well, it has indeed, yeah. As you said, back in 76, it's a bit like it is now. There was recessions and money was hard got, and to try and put a car together, and it cost quite a bit of money at the time. I remember the first car that I bought two of them. They were minis, and I paid £40 for the two cars, and I made one car out of the two of them. So we rallied that for a couple of years, and we got fun out of it.
Yeah.
It was cheap enough to prepare a car at the time. Not like nowadays. The safety features that's in the cars nowadays, it's unreal, In comparison to them times, all you need was just a frame. Half a frame would do you.
Yeah.
And the same seatbelt to do you. And a helmet. That's all you need at them times.
And what prompted you that time to get involved and to start up a motorsport club? I know it was originally called the Ballina Motor Club, and then it changed to the Mayo and District Motorsport Club. I suppose that was down to more people from a wide area getting involved and interested.
Yes, indeed, and we could spread it out a bit as well, Like going back to Westport, the Ballina Motor Club run an event back in Westport. They were saying to us, well, why don't you run it in Ballina? So we decided that we'd spread our wings a bit and make it a Mayo and District Motorsport Club. So as you said, a lot of people from Westport, nearly into Galway and all over, joined the club then. And it went from success to success.
Yeah, you mentioned that those were recessionary times as well, just like we are now, and they're grateful, I'm sure, this year as well, as I said, to have Hotel Ballina and Kindy Motors on board as sponsors, main sponsors for the event. But in terms of yourselves, when you started off, how difficult was it, I suppose, to get local businesses and the local support of the community interested in something like motorsport, where I suppose you're competing with so many other sports in the county in terms of businesses to support, like?
Exactly. Well, it was a new venture at the time, and business people were interested in it, so they did put money towards it, and we got stage sponsors, and we ran a single stage. It was our first road event, and we got sponsorship for that from the hotels, and we had Martin McAndrew and Ready Mix. He sponsored the stages for a couple of years, and we built it up that way,
Yeah.
And it was amazing, the amount of business people that supported us.
What would you say was the turning point for the club, to really move it on? Is there anything in your mind that really sticks out that, was a real high point in the club's history?
I would say to change maybe the name to Mayo and District Motor, it brought in a lot more people, members, and the more competitors came in as well. And our stages rally got bigger and bigger, like it is today now. It's actually huge today. There's a great response, yeah.
Tell us about your own love at the moment for motorsport. Does it still remain? Does it get stronger as the years go on? And I suppose, would you class yourself as a real avid follower of the sport in general?
I suppose I would. I'm 38 years at it now, and I don't think I'm going to change now. I would love to get back behind the wheel again have another shot at it before I retire.
You would know this could be the year, the 8th, 9th of March?
No, not this year. No, I have no car yet for it.
All right. Well, Willie Durkin, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. Thanks very much for talking to me, and I wish you the very best of luck, and enjoy that weekend of the 8th and 9th. I'm sure it'll bring back some happy and pleasant memories to you.
Will do. Thank you, too.
Now here beside Noel Murphy, who is one of the young drivers in the Mayo District Motorsport Club, and of course last year won the Young Driver Champion of the Year as well. His first race on tarmac. It was a great achievement indeed. Noel, I suppose first of all, as we mentioned, like last year at this event you had such great success, so I suppose this year you must be eager to, I suppose, achieve similar heights, or indeed go one better again.
Yeah, definitely.
I know there's going to be a lot more competition this year because it's a round of the Dunlop National Championship, so that's going to bring a lot more strong competition, a lot more powerful machinery, but we're going to try the best with what we have anyway and see how it goes.
But that must be something like young drivers like yourselves must relish, is the fact that this year, of course, Dunlop National Rally Championships return every second year. So the fact that you have it this year in Mayo, it's great for yourselves to test yourselves up against these top drivers. And indeed, I suppose, take tips or pointers, but test yourselves and challenge yourselves, see how you get on with them. Yeah,
it definitely brings out the best young drivers and experienced drivers in the country, and it's great to be able to compete against the likes of them. But these lads do have serious machinery and serious money put into it, so you just have to push through what you have, I suppose. But it's great to be able to do your local rally and be able to compete in your local rally against these lads from all over the country.
When did you get involved yourself, Noel, first of all, in motorsport? I know you're 19 years of age now, and certainly be regarded as someone that has achieved, quite a lot in such a short space of time in terms of last year. Like, that was a great achievement for yourself. But what prompted you to first get involved in the sport?
Well, I suppose I was growing up watching my brothers compete, so it was hard not to get the bug first. So I started when I was 14 doing grass surface autocross events and junior rallycross. So it was more just to get experience at that stage more than that. And then when I was 16, started doing the quarries in Harrington's Quarry in Kilkelly. And last year took the step to do a tarmac event.
And I suppose, what was that feeling like, to make that step up from doing it on quarries and to actually doing it on tarmac? It was a big step up, but certainly, I suppose, if you want to move on in the sport, that's what you need to do, just to bite the bullet.
Yeah, it was a big step. It was nothing that I was even expecting. I thought I knew what the sport was like from navigating and from going to it for so many years, but driving in the event was something. It was some experience, and it was hard not to get addicted to it straight away. So, no, it was a great experience, and to win the juniors there as well was a great start to the first tarmac event. So, it really was a good boost.
What advice would you have to youngsters out there, like yourself, who are interested in cars and that, but I suppose really are giving motorsport a bad name in terms of, kind of doing these donuts and what have you and driving their high-powered cars, but whereas yourselves, you're doing it in a controlled environment and it's all safety at first. So what advice would you have to those kind of people?
I suppose get talking to someone that's in the sport. Don't be afraid to come to your local motor club meeting or, go to your local rally. Like, they're all into cars, so I don't know. It's a very grey area, but it's not easy times either to get into motorsport. It's not. It does cost money, so. But I just say to people, take the first step and go to maybe your local motor club, or go to your rally, or go to a rally with someone and just experience it for yourself.
Yeah, that's the place to do it, because if you are interested, I suppose, in high-powered cars and that, this is the place to do it. It's in a controlled environment. Safety is the key. I suppose that's the main advice that you give to people.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's 100% safe. It's a lot safer than being out on the road, the open road there, and it's some experience to have. So yeah.
So in terms of yourself now, finally, Noel, for competing for the rally this year, have you any plans, or have you made your decision yet as to what kind of classes and what have you that you'll be entering?
I'm still undecided yet whether I'll do the main field event or the junior event. But there's going to be strong competition, whether or which. So I'm not undecided yet which I'll do, but we'll definitely be here in the hotel in the 9th of March.
And in terms of the car that you drive, in terms of your own, I suppose, background in that regard, would you be the kind of guy, even at a young age, would you invest heavily in that sort of thing, or do you kind of, I suppose, try and operate from a smaller budget?
Well, the sky is the limit on what you want to spend. So you try and regulate it a bit
for each event, but you can run away with yourself at times, so you have to pull back and say when it's no, we just try and keep it. It's only a hobby at the end of the day, so we try not to get too overboard with it. Yeah.
That's it. Well, Noel Murphy, thanks for talking to me. Well done on your achievements last year, and I'm sure this year you'll be hoping for similar, if indeed not better, achievements again this year. So thanks for talking to me. Good luck.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
I'm delighted to be joined here by David Duane of the Western People and also, of course, of the Ballina Chamber of Commerce. David, I suppose, first of all, it's a huge initiative to have the Mayo Stages Rally back in Ballina again this year for the second year in a row. Last year was a great success, and it means so much, really, David, to the local economy to have an event, because really it's one of the biggest sporting events of the county.
Absolutely, yeah. The Mayo Stages Rally is certainly one of the most prestigious motorsport events in the northwest and in the west, and Ballina Chamber of Commerce is delighted to be involved this year once again. We feel that an event like this is important, not just for Ballina and for North Mayo, but for the entire county, and we're delighted to be partnering the Mayo Stages Rally. And I think it's a great credit to the organisation that they've managed to make this such a big event in the calendar of events.
Because I suppose really it brings in a different spectrum of people as well, to the event. That extra added footfall, of motorsport followers really is different to the standard kind of tourism that Ballina would receive generally, with the River Moy and that side of things. But in terms of motorsport, and certainly in the month of March, it's greatly and welcome tourism.
Yeah, absolutely. The role of the Chamber of Commerce is to develop the commercial activity of the region, and we feel that with an event like this, of the stature of this type of event, that if we can widen the appeal to people maybe who are not motorsport enthusiasts, then this is going to increase the footfall into Ballina. It's good for business, and if it's good for business, it's good for jobs.
Yeah. And of course, this year the Ballina Chamber, they've gone stronger again and made even more effort this year in terms of having a rally festival, and that will take place on the Saturday, the 8th of March, from 1 until 9 in the town centre. So I suppose the idea of that is really making it all about a family fun day and getting the kids involved as well.
That's it. Yeah, it's about families. It's about, as I said, getting wider. A range of people involved, people who mightn't necessarily appreciate what a lot of motorsport enthusiasts would appreciate. So we've in conjunction with the Mayo Stages Rally Committee, we've organised a number of other events, and we'll be announcing details of those over the next few weeks.
Yeah, certainly people will keep an eye out for that in the local press and indeed in the Western as well as of local radio. But in terms of, I suppose, that event in particular, it's great for people out there that, sometimes, motorsport does get negative press. So people that are unaware of what goes on and what really it's all about, because it is done in a controlled and safe environment. So it's great for people to come along on that day and they can educate themselves really about motorsport.
Yeah, people wouldn't normally get an opportunity to see the type of event that the Mayo Stages Rally is. You get to see it on television, but certainly to have it in your own backyard, I think, is something that really has to be valued. And certainly we in Ballina Chamber of Commerce think that it's very good for the town and it's very good for the area. And we have to commend, the work that goes into this by the committee, by people like Porrick and Margaret and John, and quite a few more people within the Stages Rally Committee.
Yeah, I suppose really, the Chamber, you have a busy 12 months of it every year. You're continue working hard. I suppose your primary goal, as you said at the outset, is to bring people into the town of Ballina and to keep it going and to keep the town thriving. Because like other towns in Mayo, Ballina has been hit, unfortunately, with different closures and whatnot. But it's about getting that positive spin on the town, and something like this, it'll add to it greatly.
Yeah, and at Christmas, for example, we ran the Frosty Salmon Festival in conjunction with a number of other organisations in the town, and that certainly increased the footfall. We brought in close to 1,000 people, close to 10,000 people for that event. And as well as the Stages Rally, there are other events as well that we're looking at during the year. New events for Ballina, events that will be important in getting more people into the town and into the North Mayo area.
Well, David Duane of the Western People and of course of the Ballina Chamber of Commerce, thanks very much for talking to me, and I'm sure you'll be looking forward to the event itself on the 8th and 9th of March, and as we said, hopefully lots of people will come out and support the event, even if you don't have a real strong interest in motorsport, but it's something to see, and especially for all the family as well.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And that's Michael D. McAndrew concluding that report from the launch of the Mayo Stages Rally last night in Hotel Ballina. Thanks to Michael D. and indeed to Andy Walsh, the Mayo and District Motorsport Club PRO, who as always was just of so much assistance to us in getting that set up and getting Michael D. in there to do those interviews, and it ran very, very smoothly indeed. So of course we will be reporting live from the Mayo Stages Rally on the day as well, and keeping you updated as to how things go. Couple of score checks for you before we head away this evening. We are back, of course, between 8 and 8:30 this evening with the results and wrap-up show, in case you missed any of our results or reaction to today's games. In the FA Cup 5th round, it finished Everton 3, Swansea 1, Sheffield United 3, Nottingham Forest